Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mental Edge Trading Psychology Podcast. I'm Sarah, and today we're diving into something that wrecks more traders than strategy ever could: patience. So we've all been there. You're trading great for a few weeks, you're following your setups, you're staying focused, everything's clicking, you're thinking, oh, maybe I could get this. I think I finally got this down. And then one day you completely blow it all. You start chasing setups, you're revenge trading, and then you're just sitting there looking at the computer after, like, what the heck just happened? And if this sounds familiar, this episode is for you. This happens because your nervous system is stuck in survival mode, and when you are in survival mode, no amount of discipline or patience can override it. But we can retrain it, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So let's start with why patience feels absolutely impossible in trading. In theory, patience is super simple, right? Wait for your setup, only trade your edge, don't force anything. Easy. In practice, that's where it all falls apart. And here's why. The environment of trading destroys your patience. And I'm not being dramatic here. Think about what you're actually doing. You are staring at a live feed of your money moving up and down, tick by tick. Every flicker of that candle hits your dopamine receptors. Every green bar promises gain, every red bar threatens loss. And that does something to your biology, to the way your brain is actually wired. So your brain is constantly asking questions like, should I act? Should I protect myself? Am I falling behind? Did I miss the move? And you're watching your identity fluctuate up and down with every candle tick. And when your identity gets tied to your trading results, which happens to almost all of us, by the way, your patience starts to become unbearable. So I want you to think about this for a second. When you're waiting for a setup and nothing's happening, what starts happening in your body? For me, my heart starts to race. I get hot everywhere. I get an itchy trigger finger. Maybe for you, the feeling shows up differently. But whatever it is, that feeling is information, because that feeling is your nervous system telling you something, and we need to learn how to listen to it to be able to master patience in trading. So let's break down the science of it. What's really going on under the hood when it comes to not being able to stay patient? When you feel that urge to take a trade too early, chase a move, break your rules, I know you know better. You've studied the charts, you've learned what you need to do, but your nervous system is chasing a dopamine hit. And here's the thing about dopamine that most people get wrong. Dopamine fires on anticipation, the possibility of a reward, and that's what drives the urge to act quickly. So in trading, this shows up everywhere with overtrading, FOMO, impulsive entries, but there's something else happening too. It's called temporal discounting, and this is a really well-studied bias in behavioral psychology where we discount the value of future rewards and overvalue what's available to us right now. So delayed versus instant gratification, okay? So that valid setup that's going to appear 20 minutes from now, your brain says, no, that doesn't matter. I want to hit right now. That's more important to me. And this bias gets even more powerful when you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're emotional, or when you are financially invested in the outcome. What happens is your emotional brain overrides your logical thinking brain, okay? And when that happens, your logic goes completely out the window. Here's why this matters. Thousands of years ago in our caveman days, in survival mode, waiting often meant danger. If you waited too long to run from the bear, you died. If you waited too long to grab food, you starved. So when you feel like you have to wait in trading, your survival system is literally screaming at you, do something now. You are in danger. You're going to die. And that is why patience feels wrong, because your body treats delayed gratification as an actual threat to your survival. And why does this happen? Because it's not like we're being chased by a bear or we're going to run out of food. But because in modern day society, what happens is money is our number one survival resource. Back in the day, yeah, you had to run from bears. Yeah, you had to find your food. But money, it buys us food, shelter, clothing. It is the number one thing we rely on to survive right now. It controls everything about our life. So when we see that potential money getting away from us, it triggers us. When we see us losing that money, it triggers us and it sends us into survival mode because your nervous system doesn't want to lose the potential chance for survival. Okay, so that is why it is so difficult to stay patient in trading. Now let's dive a little bit deeper and talk about greed, because greed gets completely misunderstood. Most traders think that being greedy means wanting more money, chasing Lambos, getting rich for the sake of being rich. But watch what actually happens in your body when greed takes over. When greed takes over, typically your chest starts getting tight. You get this voice in your head that says you have to take the trade right now. Your hand physically pulls towards the keyboard, even though you absolutely know that is not your setup, but you click buy anyways. This is not greed. This is your nervous system trying to escape discomfort and feel safe again. And here's what really gets me. This discomfort probably has nothing to do with your trading to begin with. It more likely has something to do with the fact that maybe you feel like you're falling behind in life. Maybe there's pressure to make up for the past mistakes. And you're still operating from that grade school mindset where A plus means you're the best, failure means you're the worst. This fixed mindset that we get stuck in. And these winning trades, they now are becoming your sense of emotional relief. They become proof that you are capable, that you are making progress, that you matter. And underneath all of that greed, there is always fear driving it. And this is because greed and fear are two of the most primal emotions we have as human beings. Why is it? This is because greed is tied to our reward center. This is our motivation, our drive to keep going, while fear is tied to our survival response, which keeps us safe and keeps us alive. And quite often the two intertwine. And typically there are about 5 fears that usually show up as greed and trading. So let me break them down. First one's going to be the fear of missing out, FOMO. We've all been there. This is when you see the move happening and your brain is screaming, get in now or you'll miss it forever. Second one's fear of regret. What if I take this trade and it doesn't work out? What if I don't take this trade and it does work out? And you're so afraid of making the wrong choice that you end up making impulsive choices just to avoid the feeling of regret. The third one is the fear of scarcity. And this is the belief that this might be the last good setup you can take. This might be your only chance. And if you don't take it now, the opportunity will never come again. Number 4 is the fear of inadequacy. Personally, this is a big one for me. It's where trading becomes the only way to prove to yourself that you're actually good enough, and your self-worth gets tied completely to your P&L. So when you're green, you matter. When you're red, you're worthless, kind of thing. And number 5 is the fear of losing control. If I don't fix this right now, I am going to lose it. This is often a trauma-based response. It's the belief that you have to control everything or it will fall apart. And trading gives you the illusion of being in control, so you keep trying to force trades, but in reality, the only thing we're trying to be in control of, our P&L, is the only thing we don't have control of. So that's why we spiral so bad, because the things we do have control of, we toss them to the side and we focus on the things we can't control instead. So which one resonates with you the most? Just pause for a second and think about it. Which of these 5 fears shows up most in your trading? For me, the fear of inadequacy has always been the biggest one. Self-worth used to rise and fall with my trading account. And let me tell you, that is exhausting. That is no way to live. But which one shows up for you? Because once you can name that fear, we can start to regulate the greed behind it, okay? And now I want to talk about something that makes all of this even worse. Funded accounts. And look, I'm not saying funded accounts are bad. I trade them. I've gotten plenty of payouts from them. I know plenty of people who have changed their lives with them. They're great in the way that they give people opportunities they wouldn't have had otherwise, but they also create a really dangerous psychological loophole, okay? So here's what happens. When you look at a funded account and you think, oh, it's only $50. I'm not really losing $2,000 when I blow this account. I'm only losing $50. No big deal. That money doesn't mean enough to you, okay? So you keep rewarding these bad habits. It's okay. I can lose $50. It's fine. I'll just get another one. But here's what you're actually doing. You are continuously fueling the fire of losing confidence in yourself. You're losing trust in yourself every time you say that. And every time you break your rules, you break your trust in yourself a little bit more. So think about it this way. How are you supposed to build a career out of trading if you can't trust yourself? How are you supposed to take consistent payouts? How are you supposed to grow your account month after month if you can't trust yourself to follow your own rules? Trading is a relationship between you and your account, between you and the market, you and yourself. And you can't build a healthy relationship without trust. Same thing as a marriage. If you can't trust your partner, the relationship falls apart. The same thing happens with trading, okay? How do you fix this? How do you rebuild that trust? By starting small, and smaller than you think you need to. Most people think trading smaller means you're playing scared and that you don't trust yourself, that you're aiming for smaller gains. You're never going to make real money that way. And honestly, I blame social media for this. I blame the Instagram gurus that post thousands of dollars of profits on their stories and flex their Lambos and Rolexes, and they make you think that the only way to be successful in life is to make thousands of dollars a day, when in reality $200 a day could change your life dramatically. $200 a day is a full-time job, you guys. $200 a day could change your life forever. And view gets skewed so bad when they see all these traders making thousands of dollars instead, and they're like, well, this means nothing to me. This isn't good enough anymore. Small, consistent wins are what's going to make you a consistently profitable trader, not $1,000 gains all the time, okay? The brain does not know how to process making or losing $1,000 at a time, and it's going to go into survival mode. It's going to cause your emotions to take over because it does not know what to do with it. Just like going in the gym, you would not go in and deadlift 500 pounds immediately without getting injured. You're not going to go in and make or lose $1,000 without getting seriously mentally injured from it, okay? You have to go in and start small and build your way up from there. This is the only way to get to those $1,000 days that you want to have, because you need to train your brain slowly and over time, build tolerance to that risk management slowly over time to be able to handle it without freaking out, without blowing accounts. And if you don't do that, you're never going to be able to get to those consistently profitable $1,000 days you want so bad, okay? Micro risk is training smart. Smaller gains is trading smart. So when you're coming off a losing streak or you just blew an account, your brain is still in survival mode and you're reacting to everything, okay? This is your brain's way of protecting yourself, and you start second guessing every single move because of it. And if you jump right back into another account with full-size trades, you're keeping yourself on edge. And those trades, they don't allow your brain to reset. They just keep you stuck in fight or flight and keep you more amped up. But micro risking is trading smart. And when you come off a losing streak or you just blew an account, your brain is going to still be in survival mode. You're going to react to everything. You're going to be protecting. You're second guessing every move. And if you jump right back in with full size trades, you're keeping yourself on edge. Those trades, they don't allow your brain to reset. They're going to keep you stuck in fight or flight mode instead. But micro risking, which is trading really small position sizes, helps you process what really happened, helps you reset your emotional baselines, and helps you retrain your brain to be able to handle wins and losses in a healthy way. The first thing is it calms your fear response. So when you trade with the size that your brain can handle making or losing, it's not going to put you in panic mode anymore. And you're going to be able to bring yourself out of fight or flight and back into what we call your window of tolerance, the amount of stress that you can handle while still being able to think logically. So when you're back in your window of tolerance, you're able to think clearly, you're able to trade logically, and you're able to actually let your setup play out and do what it needs to do. The second thing it does is it rebuilds safety, and it shows your nervous system, hey, I can handle this, I can do this, I'm okay. And it builds that safety net around you so your brain doesn't feel threatened every single time you place a trade. It builds that tolerance, it builds that muscle, that callus, so your brain doesn't feel scared every time you jump into the charts. Most importantly, it builds that trust in you that you can do what you say you're going to do, and your brain believes that, okay? Third thing is going to rewire reward. So when the dollar amount doesn't mean much to you because you're trading so small, your brain is going to automatically shift from focusing on your P&L to focusing on execution. So then when that happens, you're going to start finding satisfaction in following your process instead of only celebrating when you win. And that's huge because that's the shift that changes everything. So think of micro risking as physical therapy for your mind, okay? Trying to restore trust and control one clean rep at a time. Because when you mess up your knee, you can't just go back to running 15 miles a day. You've got to start small. You've got to heal. And your brain needs to heal the same exact way your body does. It is an organ just like any other organ in your body, okay? When it is broken, it needs time to heal as well. So let me give you the exact protocol I use personally, and I call it the 3-tier risk ladder. And this is how you come back from blowing an account without throwing yourself right back into the same cycle. The first tier is to stabilize. This is the first 3 to 5 trading sessions after blowing an account. What you want to do is you're going to trade 20 to 25% of your typical position size, okay? Super small. And your only goal for these sessions is to end with no rules broken, okay? Because we don't want to make money in these first 3 to 5 trading sessions. We're not trying to prove anything. We just want to calm our nervous system and bring ourselves out of fight or flight, okay? The second tier is to recalibrate, which is going to be another 3 to 5 trading sessions. And this is when you're going to start trading with 40 to 50% of your position size. This is when you're going to follow your process from A to Z, make sure your stops are in place, your take profits are in place, you journal your trades, you review everything. This is where you rebuild your structure, okay? This is where you get your groove back and you remember what it feels like to trade according to a plan. And the third tier is to integrate, which is going to be the final 3 to 5 trading sessions, okay? This is where you go back to 75 to 100% of your position size. This is when you can take your trades at full size now and you're practicing staying regulated under pressure. And this is where you learn how to maintain control when it matters most. So in total, this is about 9 to 15 trading sessions. And the reason we're doing it this way, spreading it out over time, is because we want to bring you back in slowly instead of throwing you in all at once. Throwing yourself back in immediately at full size, that is the definition of insanity, okay? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You need to remove parts of the problem slowly but surely. Take the fight or flight response out, take the rule breaking out, put the structure back in, rebuild slowly so you're not overwhelming your brain and making yourself even more easily triggered than you already are. And I also want to give you some practical tools that you can start using with your very next trade. The first tool is the tension rating, okay? So before your next trade, I want you to rate your tension on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 means you're completely calm, 10 means you are maxed out, your heart's racing, shoulders are tight, you're barely breathing, okay? Rate it before you enter the trade. Then, after the trade, whether you win or lose, rate it again. This simple body awareness scan is going to help you track whether you're trading from calm or from chaos. So if your tension goes up during a trade, that is great information. Not bad, not good, just great information, great data. It tells you that you're not ready for that position size yet. Your nervous system can't handle it. You need to scale down, rebuild trust, and then scale back up slowly, okay? The second tool is micro rewards. So every time you follow your rules, you need to give yourself a micro reward. Like when you're training a dog to shake, you give them a small little treat every time they shake, right? For a trader, there are plenty of things you can do. Maybe you could have a little tracker next to your computer where you check it off. So when you get 5 checks in a row, you get to go get an ice cream cone. Or maybe it's listening to your favorite song, going for a 2-minute walk, just little things that are positive rewards to your body. My favorite thing to do when I do something right is I go get an ice cream cone with my husband and daughter. And why this is so important is because it retrains your brain. It trains your brain into neuroplasticity mode, and it creates these deeper grooves where the brain starts feeling safe. Because when you punish yourself constantly for making mistakes, you don't reward yourself for doing things right. It's going to keep you in a state of fight or flight, and you're constantly going to be feeling unsafe subconsciously. But when you reward yourself for doing something right, for following your rules, for doing something small, it makes your brain feel safe. It makes you feel comfortable, confident, and builds your trust, okay? And by doing this, that is what builds your confidence over time to be able to become the trader you want to be. And the last tool is going to be a somatic check-in. This is a full body scan before and after your trades. So before you trade, close your eyes for just 10 seconds and notice where you're holding tension in your body. Maybe it's your jaw, maybe it's your shoulder, your chest, your stomach. Just notice it. Don't try to fix it. Just become aware of it. And then after the trade, do the same thing. This awareness is everything because this tension is one of the only signs you're going to get that you're about to go into fight or flight and your emotions are about to take over in your trading, okay? And once you can notice when your body is dysregulated, you can start to regulate it before you blow your account. All right, guys, I just want you to remember, if you're struggling with patience and trading, your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. And when you are in survival mode, waiting is always going to feel like a threat. And the only fix to that is regulation, training your nervous system to feel safe, starting with micro risking, using the 3-tier risk ladder, and most importantly, naming the fear that is driving your greed, the FOMO, fear of regret, scarcity, inadequacy. And once you name it, you can work with it. This is the Mental Edge Trading Psychology Podcast. I'm Sarah, and we'll see you next time.